Hey everybody, hey everybody, hey everybody. It has been a long time since you have seen my face. It has been so long since you have seen my face, you may not even remember my face. And I am going live today. I am sick. I'm sick and I'm going live today. But that's okay because I am on the mend. I am healing. And I'm going live today to tell you that I fell off, and I'm taking personal accountability on YouTube. I fell off on YouTube, and I cleaned up my channel, got rid of a lot of things that I had on there that were not applicable to what I am all about. But I am here to tell you I am back, I am committed, I am hardcore, and that's why I am on here not feeling 100%, but I'm on here regardless because I wanted to get back in the saddle and let you all know that I am back and we are good to go. So, this channel brought a lot of value prior to me kind of, working on some other things on some other channels. It brought a lot of value, and I fully intend for this to be my primary channel uh, for mindset. This channel, by the way, my name is Tish. If you do not know who I am, I'm sorry if it's been so long you don't know who I am. You're like, who is this woman in her grandma's nightgown? Yes, that's okay. It's okay. Because this nightgown is what kept grandma pregnant and her bills paid, and it has done the same for me. So that's okay. My name is Tish. I am a wife and a mother to 5 children, among many other things, and that I'm not going to get all into right now. But what my voice, it's so difficult for me to talk right now. But so please excuse my voice. But my passion, what I am absolutely passionate about, is I am passionate about people being successful. I am passionate, thank you, my dear. I am passionate about everyone becoming successful. Everyone. I don't want to see anyone struggle. And I am a strong believer that every single solitary person has what it takes within them in order to be successful. And so, what my channel focuses on is unlocking the keys to you becoming successful, discussing different topics that lead to success. Now, in my opinion, pretty much every topic leads to success in some way or another. It tells you how to be successful or it tells you how not to be successful, okay? Everything in life can be basically seen as how to be successful, how not to be successful, what to do, what not to do. And so tonight, my particular topic, and remember, I am going to commit to being on here every single night live, every single night. So look for my new lives. Tonight, our topic is going to discuss the importance of your circle. The importance of your circle. All right. So here's something that a lot of people don't take into consideration. A lot of people are surrounded by and have people in their circles that they have had there for years and years and years. You know, you have this person in your circle because you're loyal to them, because you feel that they've been loyal to you, because you have shared experiences, because maybe you have kids that are the same age, or you live in the same neighborhood, or you went to summer camp, a million years to go together. Whatever the case may be, you have people in your circle. And what people don't often do is they don't often take an analysis of the people that are in their circle. They don't question them. They're just there and you don't question them. But let me tell you why your circle can literally make or break you. and why it's very important to do an inventory of your circle of the people that you surround yourself with often. Okay? Often. Now, just like you do an inventory, and I want you hang in here with me. Just like you do an inventory of your pantry, right? Every week to see what is it that you're out of. What is it? And that just reminded me I need to get SOS pads. Um, but you do an analysis, right? You do inventory. You look in your pantry, you say, oh, I'm out of paper towels, I'm out of chips, or I'm out of napkins, or whatever. You do an inventory because it makes sense so that you know what's going on, right? Just like when you wake up in the morning, you should be taking an inventory of how you feel. You wake up, and before you just jump out of bed and hit the floor running, you should be taking an inventory of how am I feeling this morning? Am I feeling a little down, or am I feeling really happy, or am I feeling, like I might be catching a cold? I'm doing fine, thank you. Uh, does that make sense? You should be doing an inventory of how you feel when you wake up in the morning, right? You wake up and you figure out what's going on with me, and then you need to make proper adjustments. Some mornings we wake up and maybe we're just a little negative for whatever reason, and we need to take a moment. Um, but you need to do the same analysis with the people that are surrounding you. And let me tell you why it's so vitally important. Because the people that surround you are the people that are in your ear. These are the people that have influence over you. They have influence over the way you think. They have influence over oftentimes the decisions that you make. And so they are very important when we start to talk about, are you going to be successful or not? Very important. People don't want to hear this. And I know it's an unpopular message, but I'm telling you, it's real and it's vitally important and it's truthful. And you can ignore it if you want to, which is fine because, here's the deal that I found over many years about talking about success. Some people are not ready to move to the next level yet, and that's fine. Some of you are very content where you are, and you are not ready to move to the next level, and that is perfectly fine. I'm giving out this message. It's going to stay on YouTube, and when you're ready to level up, you can come back to it, and you can look at it again, and I promise you'll see it in a whole new light. There were many people who became my coaches in the future that when I first heard them, I did not agree with their message, or I was not in a mindset to take in the message that they were giving. And then later on, when I was, their messages were very beneficial. And then some of them I had the privilege to actually work with one-on-one. At a later time. It's just everybody's in a different place in life, and so you can hear it right now and maybe it'll plant a seed in you and that seed will later be fertilized and grow, or you can come back to this message at a later time when you're like, whoa, I remember that woman on YouTube that was talking about your circle. Oh my gosh. After something happens and you're like, wow, I remember she said, watch out for your circle. So I'm saying this because here's the deal with your circle. Here's the deal with your circle. Your circle is going to be a reflection of who you are. Okay? If everyone in your circle makes $50,000, I guarantee you make 50 to 60. Okay? If everyone in your circle is going out and drinking, I guarantee you probably have an alcohol problem. Okay, so your circle is a very good reflection of who you are. And so if one day you decide, you know what, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with who you are, but let's say one day you decide, you know what, I want more out of life than what I have. You look around and you say, there's nothing wrong with what I have, but I've decided I want something more out of life. And you look around and you're like, yeah, I want something more. I want to live somewhere different. I want to drive a different car. I want to, whatever the case may be that you want to do differently. And, excuse me, and you may be hanging out with people um, who maybe are talking about, they're the kind of people where you sit around and you talk about people instead of talking about dreams and goals and thoughts and places. You talk about people. You and your friends talk about people. And you're like, you know what? I'm tired of gossiping about Mary Jo down the street. How much more do we need to know? She's cheating on her husband. Da 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 da. What else is there to talk about Mary Jo? And you decide, hey, you know what? I saw this travel video, and I want to see the world. There's more to life outside of Trenton, New Jersey, or whatever. I want to see the world, and I want to, I watched a video the other day on YouTube, and they were talking about mindset and this, and that sounded really interesting to me. And you go to talk to your circle about that, and they look at you like you have three heads, right? Because they're watching soap operas and talking about people and drinking beer at night and hanging out. And I'm not criticizing anybody who's that's their life. But what I'm saying is, if you decide one day that you want to do more, you want to see more, you want to live more, you want to have more expanded thoughts, and you take this to your circle may very well say, I don't know what you're talking about. What's going on with you? Are you having a midlife crisis? Or what is going right? So that may cause you to look at your circle. Because if you want to do something bigger, you're going to need to have a different circle. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. When you decide to make some life changes, are going to outgrow the people most probably in your immediate circle. And there's a level of guilt that people often feel because they're like, I've known Barbie since, we were in junior high, and Keisha and I, were in grade school together, and whatever. Natalie lives down the street and whatever. And you feel this level of guilt. And I'm not telling you that you can no longer be friends with these people. I'm not telling you this. But what I am going to tell you is as your world expands, as your knowledge expands, as your thoughts expand and grow, oftentimes people in your immediate circle will have a very strong reaction. And it can be one of discouragement. It can be one of teasing you. It can be one of aggression. Because here's the deal with people. People are very comfortable when they know who you are, when they know what your reaction is going to be, when they feel that they know you and all of your behaviors. That makes them feel very comfortable with you. When you start to grow, I remember when I started, and I'll just use myself as an example, when I started to change the way that I thought, and change my mindset. And mindset has been something I've always been passionate about. But when I decided I was going to pursue it full time and I was going to teach on it and I was going to get back to my roots, because teaching on mindset and success is definitely at my core and my roots. The people that I had been, I had taken a break to raise children, child after child after child after child. And the people that I had aligned myself with at the time, so there were mindsets that were involved with that. But when I said, you know what, I'm going to get back to my roots, to my core, certain people had behaviors and actions that were aimed to be very detrimental to me because now I'm going outside the narrative that they know me as. And that made them uncomfortable. And you have to remember there are going to be some in your circle, the people that you think you know so well, that are going to be jealous. They're going to get jealous because you are wanting to grow outside of them. And they're going to be jealous, and some people are going to be jealous, and some people are going to try and hinder you and keep you through guilt or through however they can, discouragement or whatever it takes, in order to keep you where you are, where they're comfortable, where they want you to stay, because they don't want you to grow. I'm sorry to tell you, this is at least 1 to 2 people in your circle, and that's going to be the case. And so what you're going to have to decide is, where do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Right? When you decide, I want something more than what I'm looking at, something more outside these 4 walls, something more outside this community, something more than maybe hanging out, every day after work with the same people telling the same jokes or whatever. I want something more than the car I'm driving or whatever the case may be. When you decide you want something more, how are you going to get it? How are you going to expose yourself to it? Where's it going to come from? So let me tell you, what it's going to come from is, number 1, you're going to need to read some books. You're going to need to read some books. You're going to need to invest in yourself. So this is like a really big thing for people who are not used to investing in themselves. So that is the first point of contention, I will say, for most people, okay, is when I say invest in yourself. Now, people get very upset with me, very upset. Okay, now they can invest in perfume, massages, manicures, getting their hair done, and I could go on and on and on, buying clothes. But when I say, if you want to increase your net worth, if you want to increase your net worth, if you want to increase your personal value, you're going to have to invest in yourself. That's step 1. Invest in yourself, right? You're also going back to your circle, you're going to need to be around people who have what it is that you want, which means not the people in your circle. Because if the people in your circle had what you wanted, then you wouldn't be looking around thinking, I want more. I want something different. Because you'd already be around people who have what it is that you want. So when you have decided what it is that you want from life, let's say you decide that you want to become a lawyer. I'm just going to do a hypothetical. You want to become a lawyer. So you are going to probably need to find out, are there conventions, or where do lawyers congregate? Is there a certain spot that they hang out, that they eat at, or are there certain conventions that they attend that I can attend without being an attorney myself? Where can I meet an attorney that can kind of take me under their wing, give me some advice about going to law school and maybe what's, specialty of law I want to pursue, or whatever. You probably want to get some law journals, and start reading those. You want to think like a lawyer. If you want to be a lawyer, you need to think like a lawyer. You need to tell yourself that you are a lawyer, even if you are just applying to law school. You have to get the right mindset. You have to place yourself in the position you want to be in order to see yourself in that position, in order to get to that position eventually. Does that make sense? And this is what I mean by investing in yourself. You have to invest in the time, and you have to invest in being in new places, new environments, around new people, in order to get to that next level. Because your old friends can't teach you about the new life you want to live. They can't. You need to be around people who live that life. So if I want to be a multimillionaire, right? If that is my goal to be a multimillionaire, then obviously I need to start hanging out with multimillionaires. And there are many ways that I might be able to do that. I may save up my money so that I can go stay at a resort where people like that congregate. I may get a job at my local country club so that I can hang out and be around that kind of clientele and hear the kind of conversations that they have. I may invest in myself by going to conventions where people who also invest in themselves go to and who are very wealthy. Okay, there are many different ways that you can go about it, but the bottom line is your circle is going to need to change. You're going to need to, if your circle hangs out and they dress in, ratty tatty yoga pants and ratty tatty t-shirts, you know, that's not going to do if you want to be a multimillionaire. You're going to need to start dressing the part. You're going to need to get used to having the habits that millionaires have. They are very disciplined people. Millionaires are very disciplined people. Millionaires have routines. Millionaires have schedules. Millionaires are dressing a certain way, presenting themselves a certain way. These are things that you're going to need to study if you want to be successful and you want to be around other people who are successful, who have achieved their dreams or their goals and can give you guidance on how to get there. That are able to tell you the books that you're going to need to read, that are going to be able to advise you, hey, you need to attend this convention. Hey, you need to check out this speaker. Hey, you need to see if you can get mentorship under this person. Okay, so these are all things that are involved in your circle. Your circle must change if you want to change. And you need to be aware that the people that are already in your circle, when they see you wanting to do better, when they see you wanting to elevate yourself, they are not going to give up without a fight with trying to keep you where you are. Because where you are is safe. And where you are doesn't remind them of where they are. That they may not be living up to where they should be living up to. Or have the expectations for themselves that they should. Right? When somebody wants to do better, starts doing better, that's a reminder. Why do you think so many people who do well get, if they go back into the hood, they get killed, or somebody tries to, an attempt on their life of some sort or something like that? Because people are jealous. When people see that you were from a certain place or had a certain lifestyle, and then you made a change inside of you and you pulled yourself up and you decided you were going to do better and you studied and you worked hard and you changed the way you moved and your schedule and your disciplines and all of that, there's going to be a group of people that are extremely happy and proud of you. And then there's going to be a group of people who are going to be angry and jealous. And that's just, it is what it is. That's how it goes. So be mindful. Be mindful of your circle that is constantly surrounding you. Do active assessments. I have been brought down by people in my circle before because I refuse to see obvious red flags, because I felt guilt over loyalty. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be very real with you. And I want you to remember this. And I want you to take this away with you because I'm about to go. Because all this talking is exhausting me while I'm not 100%. But let me tell you something. Remember this. Your number one loyalty in life is to you. It is to you. You do not have a loyalty to someone outside of you first before a loyalty to you. Now, I'm a Christian. Of course, my number one loyalty is to God. Okay, but I'm talking about people here around you. So, your number one loyalty is to you, not to Susie down the street, not to, Amelia, who you went to junior high with, to you. Stay loyal to yourself. Second loyalty to your family, your immediate family. Okay? But your number one loyalty is to you. Because if you don't take care of yourself and you don't do right by yourself, you can't take care of anybody else and you can't be successful. Don't put people before yourself. Huge mistake that everyone who's successful now has made sometime in the past. They have put somebody before themselves. And let me tell you, people are takers. They're takers. They'll take, 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 take. If you're a giver, they will take, 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 take. And I want you to think about and be honest about how much do I give and how much do I receive back. That's a whole nother issue and a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But I hope this helped you in some sort of way. Hopefully it planted a seed that, will germinate maybe at a later time. But beware of your circle. Do a constant assessment of your circle because people will try and take you down from the inside. It's always those people on the inside that you don't suspect or that you're not paying attention to, that may be praying against you, Preying, against you, okay, instead of praying, Praying, for you. Okay, so your circle is very important, especially if you've decided that you want to move differently, you want to move to that next level, and you want to do new things. Your circle is very important. Start within and work outward. Okay, so thank you. Super excited to be back with you. Look forward to being with you. And Lord willing, we'll see you every single day. We will have a topic that pertains to success. We'll probably cap it off at 30 minutes every day, but a topic that pertains to success. Like I said, everything, in my opinion, pertains to success. What either to do or what not to do. But it all pertains to success and how to be successful and how to get the most out of this life. What you need to keep in mind is this life is super short. It's super short and you only get one life. Super short and you only get one life. So you need to start being intentional with how you live that life, how you show up for yourself. How do you show up for yourself every day? Ask yourself that. How am I showing up for myself every day? And what is it going to get me? What is it going to get you? If you keep showing up the way you are right now today for yourself, what is your life going to look like in 5 years? What is your life going to look like in 10 years? Okay? Only you can answer that. All right. Good night.